Hi, my name's Daisy and today I am doing my February wrap up and part of my March TBR. You guys know I really suck at TBRs, but this month I am going to try and set myself a target of reading 3 books definitely off my TBR. That means that I don't have a whole entire month set out with a load of books that I'm not sure 100% that I'm going to want to read when I actually get round to them. So hopefully this will work and let me show you all the books. Most of the books that I read this month were audiobooks or they were on my Kindle. So I downloaded all the covers so I could show you them, but some of them obviously I didn't read in that format. But starting with the paperback books, because this isn't going to be in order, because it just isn't. So the first book that is a paperback I read was Grasshopper Jungle by Andrew Smith. I really enjoyed this. It was mental, and I do have a review of it which I will link down below, and oh my gosh, it's just... it's mental. That's the only way I can describe it. It's mental. Then another paperback that I have a review of, which yes I will link down below if you're interested in, which is Be With Me by J. Lynn. I just love this book so much. Now I've got to go on my Kindle and try and find all the covers for you. Rest by Michelle Harrison, and I really like this book. It's not a book that I've heard particularly a lot about, but Elliot has pretty much died at some point in his life. He had an accident and he died, and now he can see ghosts, and he has taken up a job at the most haunted place in England, and that means there's a lot of ghosts and there's a lot of stuff that happens, there's a lot of mystery, there's some really creepy things that happen, so maybe if you don't like ghost sort of things this might not be your kind of genre. And bearing in mind it's from a boy's point of view, which normally I don't get on very well with. I don't know why, I just tend to not be able to slip into a boy's mind as well, probably because I am a girl. However, I really thought that it was believable that I was reading from a boy's point of view, and I wasn't at all like about it, so really enjoyed this. I think I gave it 4 stars. I think so. I don't know, my star ratings tend to be on how much I would go haha about it. Now we go on to the 3 classics that I read this month, and I did do a video discussing classics which I found really interesting to film. I feel like this video is just like, hey, I've read all these books but I've also done videos on them. Not purposely doing that, it just seems to happen, and this month I did talk about a lot of the things that I read. So the first thing that I listened to was Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen, and I really enjoyed the audiobook version of this, and it was really great. I borrowed it from my library. My library has like an online library, and then you can borrow like ebooks and e-audiobooks. I don't think that actually exists, but it exists in my brain now. I really enjoyed it, and I think it was about 3-4 stars. It was a good story. It's a good classic if you want to start. It's a nice one. Then the next thing I listened to was Tessa the D'Urvilles by Thomas Hardy, and this was really great. However, it's a really depressing story, so probably not the best thing to do if you're looking for something cheerful, because it's not a cheerful classic. It's definitely one of those ones that's probably going to make you cry. It did make me cry, so yeah, thanks Tess and your horrible life that just you had a lot of shit happen to you. That's the only way I can put it. I'm pretty much just showing you text on a screen because I'm not fancy enough to be able to put the book actual cover right here because I don't have an editing software that's really cool. I just use Windows Movie Maker. However, the last classic that I read was Dracula by Bram Stoker. Whenever I say this I want to go Dracula. I also read a short ebook by C.M. Del Porto, and it's the S-Lights, The Arrival, and this is something that I talked about when I think I was hauling a book, and this story is a sci-fi story, and there are aliens that have come down, invaded, and they need the women's eggs, so you have to have 3 egg extractions, and if you're between about 14 and 25 you are taken away. I read a book from a recommendation from Casey over at the Bitter Productions, and I don't really like the name of this novel, but I'm going to say it anyway. It is Foreplay by Sophie Jordan. I think it's a very out there name, but anyway, I did read it, and that's kind of funny. I'm like, it's an out there name, but I read the book, so anyway, it's an okay one. I've been reading a lot of new adult recently because a lot of people have introduced me to it, and I'm trying to find like the genre, sort of how, like I'm doing an experiment really of how everything's different, and eventually I'm going to be doing a video, but I have to read a lot of the books to be able to then do my video that I'm planning to do. So yes, that's the reason why you probably see quite a lot of new adult happening in my March reads. March reads? No, that wasn't. February reads and January reads. I read a lot of contemporary stuff there as well. So yeah, that's something to look forward to anyway. By the way, does anyone ever get creeped out when this comes up on their Kindle? I don't like this photo. It makes me feel like she's staring into my soul. I have two things from the BBC, which are Torchwood Lost Files, and they're about a 45-minute thing. I know some people wouldn't count that, but technically I did listen to a story. So I listened to The Devil and Miss Carew, and I also listened to Submission, and they're currently uploading them on Friday, I think about 2:30, so if you're in the UK and you want to listen to something Torchwoody, then you can listen to one this Friday. The Submission one's probably still up at the moment, so you could probably listen to that. However, I really enjoyed them because I love Torchwood and I love Doctor Who, and so much love for those two things. So that was a total of 10 things read this month, and I know that 2 of those things people probably wouldn't count, so they'd say that I read 8 things. However, I'm counting them in because Goodreads count them, so if Goodreads counts them, I count them, which now means I'm up to 21 books for the whole year, and that means it's like overgone. I think I'm about 8 books still ahead of schedule, so let us get on to the 3 things that I am going to definitely read in March. So the first thing that I'm definitely reading this month, and I'm still partially through, however by the time this is filmed I'd have been a lot further through by this, and this is something that we're going to be doing a talk about this Saturday on the 8th of March, and I'll link the thing down below so you can RSVP or whatnot. I will do a video on the day to remind you guys, but anyway, it is Splintered by A.G. Howard, which is a sort of Alice in Wonderland follow-on story, and it's creepy as heck, but it's a good kind of creepy, and I just love it because it's so much more darker than Alice in Wonderland, and I'm falling in love with it. Next thing that I'm definitely going to be reading, I know that some people who have me on their Goodreads probably have seen that I've already started this, but I haven't finished it. I got about 30 pages through, and then I couldn't read any further because I got distracted by other things, but it's Eleanor and Park by Rainbow Rowell. Definitely going to read this because I love me a bit of Rainbow Rowell. And then I have an audiobook which I got from my library's Overdrive, whatever it's called, I think it is. Overdrive's the app, but whatever it is, I got an e-audiobook because I've got quite a few Meg Cabot ones on the go, on like holds, but it is All American Girl by Meg Cabot, of course, and so far I think I've read the first hour, and I think there's about 6 hours to it, and I'm really enjoying it. So yes, this one definitely is going to be read, and Splintered will definitely be read because I'm doing a talk about it, so of course it's going to be read. See, I'm doing stuff that I know I'm going to do, and Eleanor and Park, that's like, I'm happy about reading that, so I'm not begrudging the fact that I have a TBR going on this month. If you have a February wrap-up or a March TBR, make sure to link them down in the comments below and I will go watch them, and I hope you all have a wonderful weekend. And if you are reading Splintered at the moment in due course for the Saturday live show, let me know what your thoughts are so far, and I love you guys. I hope you have a nice rest of the week. I think I already said that, and thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and happy reading. Bye bye.